Hi there. I want one of those glasses, or those spectacles, I should say. And the chair. Okay, that's not the right slide. You're going to see the whole presentation now. So I'll go quickly. You didn't see that. So the question that Anitra posed, first of all, she wanted me to tell you a bit about our journey from being really a paper doll dress-up site on the internet 6 years ago to being a social game today, really predicated on entertainment and most of all on fashion. And Stardoll today has around 170 million registered users, about 50 different brands in our virtual mall, the Star Plaza. So hopefully I can shed some light on the second second part of the question, which is, are our users likely to be some of the designers of tomorrow? I don't want to predict the future, but it's a post-digital world, so I've got to try. Firstly, and I'm going to go fast because I know you're all waiting for lunch, so firstly, I just wanted to give you a quick movie. If I can make this work. Tell you a bit about our brand.
Welcome to Stardoll.
Hi Justin, I'm Maria Lane from Stardoll.
Hey Stardoll, what's up? It's Emily Osmond.
Hi everyone at Stardoll.
Hi there, I'm Heidi Klum. Welcome to Stardoll, the world of fame, fashion, and friends.
Stardoll is a leading online destination for young women and provides a world filled with fame, fashion, and friends. Through a variety of interactive and creative activities, Stardoll has every angle of a girl's life covered. We've tapped into girls' universal interest in dressing up, roleplay, and creativity. Stardoll, the leading online destination for young women.
So that's done in a minute and a half what would have taken me a bit longer to do. Give you a sense of the brand and who we are. See if I can get on to the next slide. Yeah. So Anitra asked another question, really, which is hopefully one route into asking or answering the first question, which is how has digital media revolutionized the way teens create, design, and market their ideas and dreams? And for us, their ideas and dreams in many ways take the form of fashion, as I said before. So the first part of that, really, that question is, how has digital media revolutionized the way that they can create and design? And I'll try to answer that, obviously, with specific examples from our experience. First and possibly foremost is the speed at which things can be created and designed and shared through the internet and through digital media beyond the internet is really revolutionizing, transforming what's possible. We see that every day, where a user will register on our site and literally less than a week later they've got a collection of their own designs, which they've shared on a global basis and even sold to other people, both in the market that they're operating from or that they live in, and also beyond that on the other side of the world. And remember, our users, our audience, average age is 15, so they've got their whole lives ahead of them. Secondly, and really importantly, from the point of view of addressing a teen audience and providing them with a platform for expressing themselves, is to give them creative freedom to do that. These users, whether they're in Germany or the UK or Canada or Brazil, they're experimenting with design, they're experimenting with creativity and fashion and their look, and it's quite often the case that we see them change their look entirely from day to day. as you would expect teens to do in the real world. So giving them a platform where they can do that and where the permutations of their look and the fashion that they create and wear are endless is really important. So be yourself and quit trying to be everyone else is certainly something that the internet has been able to offer in different ways. Thirdly, no less importantly, immediacy. Again, if you're looking for self-affirmation, if you're looking for recognition, if you're looking for a reward from your peers, the people around you, your friends, you can get that from the web very, very quickly in a very direct and immediate way. And we see that with, for example, the fashion design contest that we run on a regular basis on Stardoll, and the numbers of individuals who enter those contests time and time again, and just continues to increase. And the primary reason that I think those contests are so popular isn't with regard to the prize that we might be offering, and that prize might be something as small as a few star coins to purchase something in our virtual shopping mall. The reason, as I said, is for self-affirmation and recognition from the community. So immediacy is a critical facet of what the internet, what digital media is doing when it comes to design and creativity. And last but not least, I think independence. You know, it's important for our members, certainly, to feel that Stardoll is somewhere where, you know, they can play, they can create, they can express themselves to their peer group rather than to perhaps the wider world, their mums, dads, brothers, younger sisters. It's really for them. It's for a group of, you know, it's a fairly tight-knit audience of 10 to 18-year-old girls. So they're able to be independent. They're able to do that both on Stardoll and increasingly off Stardoll through the mobile applications that we offer them to link when they're not in a fixed place. And independence is certainly, you know, as important as anything else for a 15-year-old girl. I think one of the people who kind of embodies a lot of those values and has taken advantage of the internet and what it can do for design and creativity and fashion at large is Tavi Gevinson. You've probably heard of her before in this stream. She is, if you like, Anna Wintour for a post-digital world. She was 13 when she started blogging, created her own blog, Style Rookie, which was, 4 years ago. A year later, she was invited to participate in a feature in the New York Times, and she's subsequently been a face on the cover of Vogue in France, et cetera, et cetera. So she doesn't have the backing of big media, but she frankly doesn't need it. She has the backing of the social web. Sites like Stardoll, which are really propelling people like Tavi into a position where they're, if not the designers of tomorrow, certainly the critique or the critics of those designers. So that's hopefully giving you an idea of how our users and indeed teens more broadly are creating and designing and using the internet to do that. Secondly, and again we have some pretty hard evidence of how this is happening. It's clear that Stardoll and our designers on our site are already operating very much like global retailers. So they are learning some of the tricks of the trade when it comes to creating a market and getting their product out and experimenting with new products to see what works and, you know, what the best sellers in a collection will be. First and foremost, they have, and the reason that they can do this on a global basis is Stardoll itself has users from about 200 different countries worldwide. The core of the site from 5 years ago, the core growth over the first 2 years was in Western Europe and North America. But more recently, we've had exponential growth in countries like Brazil, the Middle East, Turkey, Russia. So emerging markets, just as, again, in the real world, are becoming more and more important to luxury brands or brands at large. And we're seeing that on our platform. So a user can create from day one a collection or create a design which can then be seen by literally hundreds of millions of users around the world, which most brand owners would you know, eat their lunch to have. Secondly, customer insight. Again, we see our users change what they're creating on a daily basis, not on a quarterly basis like the big fashion houses do. Certainly on a weekly basis, they're looking at what's popular from what they're creating, from what other people are creating, and responding to that, to those trends and to the popularity from certain items. And again, those items might be specifically popular in one market, or even at one time of day or one day of the week. The digital trail that the internet allows us to look at is I think, a key feature for designers of tomorrow to understand and to take advantage of. So customer insight from our users is a critical part of what they're learning. And thirdly, speed to market. Again, I said that we've had users who will register on a Monday, and by the end of that week, they'll already have a number of designs published on Stardoll. And in fact, this is a user from Brazil who's created, in the space of a month, she's created 5 separate collections. Her name is Ala de la Plata, 17 years old. And you can see the range there of what she's created, but no less important is the versatility of what she's creating and the kind of shop window that she's created for these designs, which are in response. This, I think, was the 3rd collection that she created, which were in response to users looking for something more feminine, more elegant, more perhaps grown up. And this, I believe, is her most successful collection to date. Where are our users going to create these collections? So the Star Design feature, which we created first 3 years ago, we built because we thought that it was important to offer our users another way of expressing themselves creatively. We didn't think at that point that this would morph into a kind of business tool, but it has. So, in fact, within 10 days of Star Design going live, it had created its first Stardoll millionaire. Don't get too excited, but nevertheless, the Stardoll millionaires are increasing in number every week. This is Mika Katia from Sweden, who has been, again, only been on the site for 5 months, and in that time, she has accumulated earnings in Star dollars of $820,000, $823,000, while only purchasing 30,000 Star dollars. So as you can see, that's a pretty decent business. In 5 months, she's earned a Stardoll profit of just under $800,000. If you annualize that, then you get a turnover of 1.9 million. So again, if they aren't the designers of tomorrow, I think some of our users are certainly going to be the entrepreneurs of tomorrow and the marketeers of tomorrow. They're learning how to do that on Stardoll and how to respond to customer demand on a global basis. So we've added features on top of the Star Design feature itself to recognize that this became more than just a tool for self-expression. Star Design has become really a tool for many of our super users to build their own virtual business on. The latest being the Stylist Studio, where, as you can see, a user can come in and buy their own Stylist Studio and then create collections for themselves and for their friends, and actually earn commission if those friends or contacts from across the world buy the styles that they've created in the studio. So an increasing number of our members are becoming entrepreneurs, and we're certainly encouraging that. As far as real world brands on Stardoll today, again, as I said at the top, we had about last month 50 different brands in the Star Plaza, about half of which are our own created brands, and the other half are real world brands like Miss 60, which is a brand which launched in the Star Plaza last year, and is today the most popular real world brand we have on the site. So Miss 60, if you were to compare the level of business that they're doing on Stardoll with the business that they would do in any store across the world, I think you'd find that the number of transactions certainly in the Star Plaza are an order of magnitude higher than they would see in any of their their real-world stores. Last month, something like 250,000 transactions on the Star Plaza for this brand alone. So increasingly, brands are getting, as you've seen before, are getting into social media, getting into experimenting and creating virtual shopping experiences, which in their own right drive business in the real world. Another example of that, which is live right now in the UK, is a new accessories store for Loris watches, which is, again, a store within the Star Plaza, but on top of that, we invited the community to design their own watch faces for Loris. We had, in the space of 3 weeks already, 30,000 different designs submitted into that contest, just remember in the UK alone. And on top of that, we then invited the rest of the community, and indeed those who designed those watch faces, to vote on the most popular designs. We had so far 7,000 votes, again, against that 30,000 entry number. So it's been phenomenally popular when it comes to kind of the users creating their own designs. The next step in this project is for the designs, which you can see, well, the first one there, and the winning designs here are going to be shown in John Lewis, big department store in the centre of London next month, and obviously sold in the real world. So again, proof that there is certainly a movement from virtual design through social sharing into real-world sales, and brands are increasingly tapping into that movement. And that's all very well, but how does it actually impact on real-world, both fashion today and indeed what we're doing with regard to selling some of our collections in the real world? So, a couple of things to say on that. You've probably heard of Christopher Kane, some of you may have, who was discovered by Miss Versace several years ago. One of the biggest names in fashion today. So if Stardoll isn't creating or going to be the home for the designers of tomorrow, it's already the home for some of the designers of today, if Christopher Kane is anything to go by. It's interesting that designers are coming to Stardoll to tap into what they perceive to be their audience, their customer base tomorrow. Also, what we're seeing is that we're moving with brand owners from what's virtual into the physical. So there's a kind of meeting of minds there. Pretty in Love, which was one of our own created brands several years ago in the Star Plaza, one of the best sellers in the Star Plaza. More recently, we entered into a collaboration with JCPenney in the US market to create a real-world collection based on the virtual collection that already existed of Pretty in Love, and to sell that from actually last fall in over 350 JCPenney stores across the US. The results so far are fantastically positive, and as you can imagine, there's a lot more, both in terms of fashion and in terms of accessories and media and entertainment that we're doing to take what we've created, the virtual brand that we've created from the web and mobile into the physical world and the high street, or main street in this case. That's just the first experience we've had with a fashion label. There are more in the pipeline. We've also worked with Mattel to create a toy line on a global basis, and with Random House to create a series of books which are now on sale both in the physical world and, of course, on Amazon. So hopefully that gives you just a kind of brief insight into, before lunch, into how the journey from Paperdolls to point of sale is still progressing. And if it hasn't quite answered the big question whether our designers today are going to be the designers of tomorrow, it's given you some evidence that, if I was a betting man, I believe that, some of the Christopher Kanes and Donatella Versace's of tomorrow are already honing their skills, both marketing and design, on sites like Stardoll today. Thank you very much.